In the autumn of 1219, Genghis Khan, together with his sons Jochi, Chagatai, Ugedei, and Tului, led a campaign against the state of Khorezm shahs. Genghis Khan led his army of a total 200,000 soldiers along an ancient caravan road, along the Ili River through Northern Fergana, southern Kazakhstan, and came to the city of Otrar, located on the Syr Darya River. Here, he divided the army into 4 detachments. Genghis Khan's sons, Chagatai and Ugedei, led the Mongols who besieged the city of Otrar. The eldest son of the conqueror, Jochi, was placed at the head of the detachment, which moved to the lower reaches of the Syr Darya, where the city of Sygnak, the supreme leader of the Mongols, with his younger son Tului, led the main forces of the invaders to Bukhara. Otrar was preparing for an unequal battle. In a hurry, fortifications and the citadel were repaired. Food was prepared. Defense of Otrar led Gair Khan, a small garrison of 20,000 soldiers, and was reinforced by 10,000 garrisons under the command of Karaja, which was sent to help the besieged. Countless Mongol troops approached the ancient city. In front of them stood the most beautiful trade city of those times, through which caravans moved from east to west, from south to north. The Mongols asked Gair Khan to surrender, but Gair Khan refused and was determined to defend the city. The Mongols began their attack. They were extremely cruel, destroying and killing all inhabitants around Otrar. Houses were burned, and cattle and property were taken away with them. Otrar bravely held out. Gair Khan for 5 months skillfully led the defense. At a ratio of 10 Mongol soldiers per 1 defender of Otrar, the Mongols have not succeeded in penetrating the city. Then the Mongols decided to find all the underground water channels and shut them off. The city had been experiencing food problems for 5 months. Now water was cut off. The inhabitants of the city were doomed. Despite the stubborn resistance, where even women and children who defended the city by throwing stones at the head of the Mongols, more and more people became despondent. Karaja, sent to help the city, seeing that Gair Khan intends to defend the city to his last breath, decided under cover of night to open the gates and surrender the city to the enemy. The Mongols entered the city in great numbers, and Karaja himself was brought to Jochi. Karaja swore allegiance to Jochi and promised to be faithful to him in his campaigns. But Jochi, with the words, "You betrayed your master, you will betray me too," cut off his head. Otrar was taken. The Mongols drove the entire population to the plains to loot the city freely. Gair Khan, who along with the remnants of his troops locked in a citadel, resisted for months. In world history, there was no such case in which 1,000 men resisted a 200,000-strong army of Mongols for months. Gair Khan lost almost all his men. The Mongols broke into the citadel, but he continued to fight with tenacity and courage. Like a lion, squeezed from all sides, he made his way to the roof with 2 warriors, whose death he soon saw. Despite the arrows, he continued to fight, killing dozens of Mongol warriors each time. His strength was running out, and he couldn't hold off the Mongols for long, who had orders to capture him alive. Stifled by numerical superiority, after brutal beating, he was captured and twisted. He was then transported to Genghis Khan's camp. Genghis Khan was embittered, but at the same time amazed by such courageous bravery. Gair Khan confidently looked at the shaker of the universe in the eyes and said, "You, Genghis Khan, have brought much grief and tears to the people. Your bloodthirsty soul will accept neither earth nor heaven, and your bones will be eaten by worms." Then, according to legend, enraged by such long resistance and by such an impudent response, Genghis Khan ordered to pour molten silver down Gair Khan's throat and onto his face, so that the other rulers of the cities wouldn't think of resisting. Thus, Gair Khan was one of the first warlords who organized a decent response to the Mongol invasion of Kazakhstan.